Hello everybody and welcome back to the AOR F1 2013 League. It's xMattyG back at you once again in the commentary box after a few weeks away. But obviously joining me once again is the man himself, Fizzy Fan 91. We're here for the United States Grand Prix, Fizzy, Austin, Texas. And we're only 3 rounds away from finishing this incredible F1 2013 season. A very close battle between Martin and Limitless is spicing up, with Martin seeming a little bit, you'd say a little bit unconfident in his approach and his tweets over the course of the week. But Fizzy, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that we have a pretty exciting championship battle on our hands. Gap close to 13 points now after Martin has been quite unlucky in the last 2 races, it has to be said. Being caught up in 2 incidents, first with Brochek in India and then with D on the first corner last time at Abu Dhabi 2 weeks ago. So, he'll be looking to try and have a more incident-free race, and on that front, I'm sure maybe he'll be slightly relieved that he is not here, the man he had contact with last time. Obviously, he is missing from the grid today, and so is Orbit Pride, who had something else to attend to. So, yeah, we are 10 men on the grid for this United States Grand Prix, and yeah, it should be quite interesting, I'm sure. Far from completing a lap, Leobot has just gone P3, but then quickly knocked down to P4.
Yep, so it's Limitless has taken provisional pole position with a great last sector of 135.350 with Martin, his championship rival, on the front row of the grid with him at the moment. Brochek has retired from the race on a 35.7. I have to question that. And NLR Evo now coming in 0.02 of a second behind Limitless, and into second place goes NLR Evo, bringing his form from last time out. Great middle and last sector, just a disappointing first sector, and he's retired already as well.
And so, I might know why, because I can see raindrops out on track, Matt. It's starting to rain.
Starting to rain, yeah, 60% chance of rain. I did not see that on my screen. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Fizzy. And 25% chance of rain for the race as well. So, guys, we have got an interesting quali session on our hands right now. Limitless getting a great first lap in, and if it's anything to go by in terms of the drivers retiring now, it seems like the best conditions they've already had them.
Exactly, yeah. They need to get the guys who haven't got a lap on the board yet. Just need to do it ASAP, because the track conditions will certainly not.
Foxside putting himself in 3rd place, 400ths off pole, so there is still grip out there, Fizzy.
Yeah, it usually on this game obviously takes quite a while to lose a grip completely from the track. But they can't wait too long. Martin is currently out on a lap. Might be an in-lap. It is actually, yeah.
Definitely is an in-lap, yeah. Martin down in 4th place at the moment. So, he's his championship rival, Limitless, has put in a stonking lap. It's actually, I don't know if it's actually stonking, because there's so many people so close to that with NLR Evo and Foxside. But crucially, he has got himself on provisional pole position, despite 3 people being on the 35.3. Martin down there on a 35, practically 0.6. It's a 5.99, but we'll call it a 0.6. And we've got K-Block, Lest F1, Brochek and Leobot all in the 35s as well. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the drivers can set any sort of green sector times, especially in that first sector. So we will see. And everyone's in the pits at the moment. And let me have a look outside my pit box right now.
It's not
looking, because I'm sat in my car right now doing absolutely nothing. I'm seeing that cars are going out on the track by the looks of things. So they will be testing it out at least. And, it'll be interesting to see if the conditions don't get too bad that the time goes away.
Yeah, Unleashed, one of the men who don't have a time on the board, and he's just started a lap, so he's gone on a kind of different qualifying run strategy.
Yeah, that'll be telling to see what his first sector is, so I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, he's coming through the S's now. Very, very tricky sector, of course. He's staying within the white lines for now. It's good to see. Missing the... turning past slightly there.
Fizzy. That's just as fast as any of the guys at the top, so... Well, I think Brochek very quick to retire there, and he's down in 7th, so very disappointing for him to go and decide to do that, because, I mean, the field is so close together.
Yeah, that's... what's the gap from 7th up to the 1st?
7th is 4/10.
Wow, yeah, okay, so I don't know, Brochek might have just overestimated this lap time there, and maybe thought that the grip of the track would go away quicker with the rain coming down, but, knowing this game, it definitely takes, several laps for it actually to affect the track. And Unleashed, as you said, done a good start of the lap, but he's missed the apex there on the very slow left-hander in the middle sector. Now through the twist a bit. Slow corners here. You can take many different lines through these corners. Unleashed taking a very wide approach to this left-hander. And now through the the reverse turn 8 Turkey corner, as many people have referred to it as, flat out down into the penultimate corner now. Left-hander, kind of blind, and that seemed to be very fast indeed around the final corner.
He's on a reasonable lap by the looks of things, Fizzy.
See what he can do as he comes across the line now. It's P6 for Unleashed. So definitely better not having a time, but pretty much in the middle of the pack at the moment.
Well, he's under 3/10 off pole and he managed to set that lap time, so there is still time to take if people can put a lap together. But if the conditions are getting worse, this might be their last chance.
Yeah, you can see the scoreboard here on my screen now as well. And you can see Evo less than, well, just over 200 off Limitless provisional pole time. Foxside also incredibly close there. So let's see if anyone now is on a flyer. Limitless on an out lap. He's going to start a lap pretty soon. And Unleashed is retired from the race. Foxside on the way out. Martin is on a lap actually. Gone very hard on the curb there, and that's not very fast at all because he just spun it coming at the start of the second sector there. So Martin, I don't know if that's a grip of the track going, but it looked like the line of Martin there was just very, very messy. So it was probably that.
Didn't like the time screens alike with this first sector. It was about 2/10 off what Limitless did in that first sector. So still not exactly horrendous for people like Ria Haryanto, who hasn't set a lap time yet. But Limitless has just gone through the first sector. It's not purple, but it's about 1/10 off what he did, or maybe half a 1/10 actually. So he's still on a reasonable lap, and well, he could improve if it doesn't rain too hard in the next couple of sectors.
Yeah, I just switched on to K-Block, who I think he was in like P5 or 6 or something.
P5, yeah. Martin's retired.
Pretty solid. But he retired as he missed the first apex, first corner.
Oh, Leobot, fastest middle sector of anybody so far. Down in 9th place at the moment. Not a great first sector, but a stunning middle sector. Let's hope that was actually clean and he's not just cutting corners to try and get into the pits early. Who knows? But he's set a middle sector that is a light at the moment. And Limitless has set a green middle sector as well. So the guys are retiring, but there is still time out there.
Yeah, it's taken very long for the track to really lose the grip there, and Leobot's only got one corner to go to finish his lap. He's slightly missed the apex there on the final corner. He's in P9 and he doesn't improve despite apparently having a good lap
very
to begin with.
Last sector, yeah, very disappointing. So Leobot's retired. Limitless might be towards the end of his lap as well. I don't know if he's going to improve, but no, he doesn't actually. No, he's set a green middle and last sector, but his first sector just didn't match it, unfortunately. So Limitless retires as well. So it does seem like the times are starting to tumble now. And,
it'll be hard for the drivers to...
better, but Foxside, not a great first sector from him either. I mean, it's nothing too horrendous. Ria Haryanto's middle sector is horrendous. I will say that. A second and a half off anybody else. So, Foxside actually, with a 39.316, that is just as quick, actually quicker than Limitless's middle sector on his provisional pole lap. So Foxside with a great last sector could possibly challenge, but it'll have to be a pretty stunning one.
Yeah, he's you can see he's still driving on the slick tires, of course, and isn't sliding about aggressively just yet. A nice line through the final corner, slightly too much on the curb, but one corner to go, slightly too much on the curb again and again. So I'm not liking this at the moment, but luckily he doesn't improve with that lap, so he didn't really gain much from it.
It was a disappointing last sector as well. So I think this is the point, Fizzy, where we go out and then set a pole time.
Yep, you can do that. I can not do that because I do not do pad driving very well. So,
imagine if I did actually go out. People don't think we'd be too happy about that.
Especially in these conditions, that would be interesting.
I think I should do it just for the stream.
Sure. And there we go, Let's F1 does not finish his lap.
xMattyG.
Only xMattyG out on track at the moment. He's going to have one run. I mean, I'm guessing that all the F1 the actual drivers are really know that you're run for delaying the start of the race with your
No!
They're all just sitting watching you, probably.
It's fine. Everyone can just see the ex-AOR champion at work, even though this feels like a new game at the moment, to be honest. Oh my god.
No, please don't show him that, Matt.
Especially when Fizzy's watching me. I'm 2 seconds
down. I have to disqualify you from the commentary booth in a second.
No,
Limitless started the vote. See?
No!
See? Can't even destroy your car. What the?
My controller turned off as well. Right, I'll retire. That was enjoyable. I really enjoyed that.
I'm afraid, Mr. G rules, I can't drive because I already retired from the session. But here we go with the qualifying results. Limitless on pole, and very not far indeed ahead of Evo and Foxside in second and third. Martin, championship leader in fourth. K-Block with the solid fifth. Unleashed, SF1 Voracek, Leobot, and Rio Haryanto rounding up the 10-man grid for this race. And
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens down into turn one. It's quite a tight left-hander.
also, I swear Limitless put on Twitter before that his controller was pretty much...
he did. And Noble then said in before you get the pole and win the race.
Exactly.
So, well, he's 50%
he's on his way.
There. Yeah.
So it's good start to the, well, I say weekend. It's not really a weekend, it's a 1 hour thing, but start to the session anyway for Limitless in the battle with Martin for the championship. 13-point the gap, as I mentioned before. And
if it stays like this, Fizzy, they'll be level going into
really, wow.
Abu Dhabi. What's the next race? What's the next race?
We have actually, you might actually not know this because that was sorted out a couple of weeks ago. So basically, the drivers previously voted for a track to be brought back to bring the calendar back to 18 rounds after Monza and Canada were dropped previously. We're actually doing a driver voted track next week again, which will be Spa. And then we go to Interlagos for the season finale, which is the reason why we have 3 rounds to go at this moment in time.
There's only one thing we have to say right now, or I have to say at least, and it's race time. It's the United States Grand Prix. It's xMattyG commentating for you today alongside FizzyFan91 in the commentary box. And we have a 25% chance of rain in this race, which could definitely spice up the action. And I was definitely wrong that I am starting behind Rio Haryanto, so that's fantastic. Let's wait for the lights as Charlie Whiting has started the sequence right now. 3 lights, 4 lights, and now the final light's up. Lights out and away we go for this United States Grand Prix as the drivers head towards turn 1. We're going to get straight on board with TRL Limitless, and he has actually got a little bit of pressure on the inside by NLR Evo, who takes the lead already away from the Mauritia driver. Wow. Does everyone get away unscathed? That's what we want to know, and it looks like it. Martin up into P3, and well, that's fantastic for Martin. He can see his championship rival as we come flying through the S's now, with NLR Evo in first place, getting a little bit out of shape slightly. Bit of contact, did you say? Yeah, no, it looks like...
Broshek, I think, possibly went by there.
Yeah, Broshek's definitely lost a bit of time to the guys ahead. But right now, NLR Evo, again, showing his form and getting straight into the lead, Fizzy.
Yeah, indeed. And the Limitless, though, still right at the back of him, going into the corner, onto the big straight. There's going to be a chance to maybe retake the lead for Limitless already. Very, very long straight. Not DRS yet. I expect many overtakes to come here when DRS starts getting enabled. Limitless emptying his curse to try and get back. P1 right away is gaining in the slipstream, going to move to the outside. The Evo defending the inside air, and Limitless though breaking much later, but he actually runs wide, so Evo's going to hold on to the lead now. And Martin's right on the back of Limitless as well, as Sauber and Mercedes also battling it out for 4th just behind. Yeah, that's K-Block actually in 4th place now, so he's ahead of the Sauber, and they're going, oh, there's a little bit of lag for me anyway, at least, with the top 3. Martin almost making contact with the back of TRL Limitless as we come through, as you described it, the reverse turn 8 from Turkey, not India. But we're now in the last sector now and about to finish lap 1, and, well, a perfect start for NLR Evo. Can he start to, as Limitless gets a little bit out of shape into the penultimate corner, actually, there. Martin kind of giving that very strange fake trying overtaking pass that he's done throughout most of the season, actually, but doesn't seem to put off anybody apart from himself, if anything, as he lost a little bit of time coming through that last corner doing that kind of fake move. But Limitless is definitely wise to something like that. The guy that's done real-life karting as well as raced in many a season in the AOR and also in his TRL leagues as well. But right now, NLR Evo looking pretty comfortable. Limitless isn't exactly pushing him around the track. No, he's not. He's showing some consistency now after being put under pressure in the first half of the first lap. But now, pretty solid, both Limitless and Martin just hassling the start of the second sector. Martin also going way too hard on the curb. Don't think he really gained any time from that. It didn't really look like it anyway. With the gap to Limitless, and Limitless once again getting pretty close onto the big straight on Evo. So let's see. I'm going to jump on board with him. He's further back now, though, quite a bit than he was on the previous lap. Not bothering to empty his full curse tank this time. Martin behind has, on the other hand, emptied his curse. And he's going to close down under braking, but no chance to get up the inside on this occasion. For him, K-Block in 4th position behind, looking very, very strong indeed. That's going to be by far his best result, I think, if he can finish there. Oh, I think... Oh, Limitless is really lagging on my screen. I hope that's just lag because he's all over the place.
Just you, unfortunately.
Yeah,
unfortunately
to be fine.
For the drivers around him. No, he's not lagging on my screen. It does seem like you and Limitless don't exactly have the greatest partnership of connections, but Limitless, no, not lagging on my screen. Fortunately, that looks like K-Block getting very out of shape through that penultimate corner, but fortunately no wall or gravel to meet him there. The drivers can run quite wide, and Martin's made a mistake through that last corner without a doubt, as he is now going to come under pressure from K-Block into turn 1. Is K-Block going to try something up the inside? He's got nothing to lose, and in he goes. K-Block up into P3, and Limitless is definitely lagging now on my screen through Martin's point of view, but Martin retakes P3 as K-Block, who cut turn 1 just slightly, which would have maybe been contested by Martin at the end of the race, but Martin hanging on to that podium position for now. But right now it seems like Limitless has the upper hand mentally going into the race, and also now during the race.
Yeah, and the K-Block now, after missing the chance to go past Martin, he did a valiant effort, to be honest. You know, he had a slight corner cut maybe on the inside of turn 1, but yeah, Martin did really, really well to hold it around the outside. They got so close together. Maybe a bit lucky that Martin didn't get side pod glitched or something, because he has had a few of those this season, I think. Let's see if K-Block will be put under pressure now from Foxside. Luckily for him, he also has DRS. Everyone in this train now running with DRS down the straight.
Crucially for Martin, he's come out of DRS range of Limitless, so these two, if they work together and don't push too hard and sort of push each other off the track and things, Limitless and NLR Evo really could pull away now from Martin, who's definitely got about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds to catch up to Limitless, and really, if he can't get away from that pack behind, he could easily be overtaken on the next lap. But it seems like Martin in this sector has started to pull away just slightly from K-Block, and he looks like he's very much under pressure as Limitless runs wide.
Oh shit, why did I switch the camera there? Just as K-Block was running wide, and there's going to be side-by-side into the final corner with him and Foxside to start lap 4, and K-Block just carries the momentum around the outside. Oh, actually, and then Unleashed gets overtaken, I don't know, from Brochek, who comes on the inside of the final corner, and at least has to go right there to avoid Brochek into the braking zone. He's gone well wide off the track. He's going to lose a position, probably to... Didn't see who went through there. That was... I'm going to jump forward quickly. That was Rihari Jancho up to 7th place then. Brochek is up to 6th, and K-Block still somehow holding on to P4. For him and Fox are battling, it's costing them so much time compared to the top 3. Is just running away with it. Now, Brochek wants in on the action as well. Not really seen what happened to him at the start, but he obviously had a poor qualifying after retiring early, and he's going to pass Foxside now on the run down towards corner number something that I don't remember.
Sorry, you might want to change now to the lead, because there might be an opportunity for Limitless going down after this very long straight, potentially overtake NLR Evo. I think he's going to have a go. You know, here we go. Limitless diving out of the slipstream and up the inside into this 90-degree left-hander. Can he make it stick? Cuts the corner slightly, or on my screen at least anyway. And NLR Evo getting better traction out of that corner and maintaining first position for now. But Limitless trying the undercut. Oh, losing the back end quite severely there. And whilst these two are battling, there's TRL Martin. He's definitely pushing. But oh, look, the Williams driver has run very wide. Has NLR Evo, and that's going to give Limitless a slight sniff going through this corner. But it's going to be very difficult to follow in that dirty air through this reverse turn 8 from Turkey. But Limitless very close to NLR Evo, and don't forget it's a double DRS around this track here, so he will get DRS once again. There's the detection point. Oh, getting very close to Evo into that last corner, and he'll have DRS now. So Fizzy, will he try into turn 1?
I think he will if he gets opportunities. Closing now with the DRS, obviously much shorter straight end than the back straight, and Evo has to go defensive. Yeah, Limitless braking a lot later, but it's a long way around the outside there, and Evo manages to hold on. But actually, Limitless is getting a much better exit, but I don't think this really is a place to overtake unless the driver makes a mistake out of turn 1, and Evo didn't really do that, just got a slightly poor exit in the acceleration zone. And Limitless is going to have to wait a little bit more. Let's look back. Martin's still not far behind. He's trying his best to claw his way back into the DRS range.
Yeah, no, might just have it now. These two fighting has definitely enabled Martin to start catching up, which is not what Limitless wanted at all. I think Limitless just feels that NLR Evo doesn't have the race pace just yet to be able to pull away from Martin, who's definitely put it up into Rich. I mean, he knew that he had to get within that DRS range, and he has done it, I think, now this lap. And now it's going to be a three-way battle for the lead, which is great to see. But Limitless now, is he going to have a try down the inside once again on NLR Evo? Can he make it stick this time round? He's turned in far too early. He can't take the position there. He's going to have to let NLR Evo back through as he cuts the corner very severely that time round. Limitless definitely underestimating how late he could brake, but filters back into P2, and Martin definitely battle joined us. Oh, Limitless going very wide. They're getting caught on the curb. Martin now very close behind. You could even say Limitless may have had a bit of a gust of wind there as he went very wide indeed. But Martin now battle joined, and I think Limitless is going to be looking in his mirrors a little bit towards the end of this lap, and not in front of him, as Martin's starting to hassle him, as we have NLR Evo and Limitless who smashes that bollard.
Rest in peace, bollard.
Pieces, and we have got the top 3 diving into the pits.
We have indeed. Unfortunately, I can't look back while we're in the pit lane, but it looks like quite a few drivers also carrying on instead of going in. Obviously, there's only one pit box for each team in the pit lane, so let's see if anyone will change positions. No, they will come out in the same way. Yep. So these guys still all in the same order they were when they came in, and then got to have a clean air as well to continue the 3-way scrap. And let's see now, actually, who has taken the lead for a brief moment. K-Block leading the race. That
Mercedes won too. We haven't seen that in real life for a while. Oh wait.
Well, we had it.
Actually, no, it was 1 and 3, wasn't it? So,
straight.
Spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched the Formula 1 Grand Prix yet, but don't watch an F1 stream if you haven't watched the Grand Prix yet. That's what I'm going to say. So K-Block, let's give K-Block a bit of coverage on the old AOR F1 2013 stream. He's going to have a bit of pressure from Broshek, actually, as his teammate is definitely within DRS range. But I think K-Block will be safe for now, and I think he is just lapping up this moment right now where he is in P1 in this race.
Behind, though. Ria Harrianto under pressure from Foxside. They're going to be side by side as well. Foxside pulling through with the DRS into the braking zone to take what is currently P3, but I think about P6 when the pit stops have all been said and done. So Unleashed not really on the ball as much as he's been in previous seasons. He's usually ahead of these guys, but at the moment he's right in the midfield mix. So let's see. Actually, I've jumped the wrong way. Let's see how net leaders are doing now. Evo in P5, and no changes there, luckily, off camera.
Yeah, no changes at all, and seems like someone's gone wide from turn 1, or actually maybe that's someone in the pits, actually. Someone's carried on once again. Is that Broshek going on for another lap? I'm pretty sure it might be, as I think that might be... Well, it'd have to, wouldn't he? Because obviously the 2 Mercedes drivers have stayed out, and I think one of them was on primes anyway, so I don't think that'll matter too much. But is Broshek on primes, actually? He is. Actually, Broshek started on primes.
Wow.
That's why he retired, Fizzy. He put a 0.7 in on primes. So that is a fantastic lap. You have to say, that's 4/10 off pole. And he set that on prime tyres. So Broshek, I don't know how many issues he's been involved with over the course of these first 7 laps. But Fizzy, he could be a dark horse to join these leaders by the end of the race.
Very interesting strategy then with Broshek. Although I think, obviously, with him qualifying on the prime tyres, he was kind of stuck behind that battle between Foxside and K-Block for quite a bit.
Yeah,
so that definitely might have lost him some time, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to, even on the better tyres towards the end of the race, to catch up with these guys.
Don't forget, though, Fizzy, the 25% chance of rain. Remember that? And I think maybe that's why Broshek put the primes on, thinking that... Because I think with the way the percentages work in this game, at least, is that I think it will rain for 25% of the race if it rains. I think that's the whole point of it. So maybe Broshek's thinking, if I put a prime tyre on now, put another set of prime tyres on at the next pit stop, and then maybe that'll get towards the window of when it starts raining towards the end of the race. So Broshek kind of thinking the long game with that prime tyre qualifying stint, because that easily could have worked very much against him had it been raining as they loaded up onto the race. But fortunately for him, he's been able to now get into some clean air and push his tyres to maybe sort of like lap 9 or 10, I'm assuming, for the prime tyres. Yeah. And, well, actually, maybe a little bit later than that, because the options only went, 5 laps? So it might be 10 or 11 laps, actually, on these prime tyres. So Broshek will get caught by the leaders, but don't forget that there is rain in the air.
Yeah, I also seem to remember that around here we might see a 2-stop strategy, whereas most races this season have been 3 stops. I'm not completely sure on that, but just have there's a vague memory of that being the case around here in some races. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, especially with Broshek currently leading the race. But this is a battle we need to focus on. Martin is closer to Limitless now than Limitless is to Evo, actually. It's not a big difference, of course. They're all very much close together, and Limitless will have the DRS of Evo still coming onto the backstraight now on lap number 8. We have 20 and a half left to go, so we're not even a third of the way through yet. So a lot of action to come. And unlike in real life today, There's going to be a close battle for the lead by the looks of it at the moment. And Martin not getting close enough to Limitless to have a go. Obviously, Limitless also having the DRS advantage. And it'll be interesting to see, actually, if these guys will close up to Brochek before he pits. I think Brochek might just have the gap enough, but
yeah, I think he definitely. I think he will have the gap to potentially stay ahead of these guys by the time he pits. With knowing Brochek, he'll probably go for maybe quite a short first stint and try and get track position, and then be able to push his tyres towards the end of the race, and that'll be when he's struggling. But right now, Brochek looking reasonable. I'm not sure how far he needs to be ahead in order to really bring himself into play. He goes on for another lap at the moment, but that's what you'd expect, as it's only the end of lap 8. And right now his tyres are probably starting to scream out just a little bit that he needs to be changed. But for now, he continues on in P1, and it's a very interesting battle we've got here for what is the net lead at the moment. The three of them just very kind of happy to sit in each other's slipstreams. Obviously, NLR Evo leading this train, and you can tell that Evo's got enough pace now because Limitless isn't really kind of hassling him too much. But I think Limitless, what he'll really want is to get ahead of Evo, and then as Evo goes very wide through the S's, that's going to give Limitless an opportunity, but Limitless understeered just a little bit as well. So Evo maybe feeling the pressure just a little bit, despite being a 3-time race winner, isn't it, at the moment in
yeah,
this season?
Believe he's won 3 races this season.
So as I've said that he's not coming under pressure at all, this time I think Limitless, who is very close behind him, is going to definitely have an opportunity, and maybe Martin as well, as we now come onto the straight, Fizzy.
Yeah, Limitless obviously much closer to Evo. He's going to have the chance because Evo's the man without DRS going down the straight now. Let's see, I'm going to stand by with Martin to see all the action unfold ahead of him. Evo goes defensive into the hairpin. Now Limitless again on the outside. Last time he was there, he outbraked himself and went wide. This time he's done it slightly better, but still lost a bit of speed through the apex. They're going to be side by side through the next corner now as well. Limitless holding it on the inside, Evo on the outside, and they're going to be side by side still. Martin just watching all this action. Who's going to come out on top? Limitless now, the man holding it around the outside on the curb, and he's going to have the better line going through the reverse turn 8 from Turkey, and he's taken the net lead of the race now, has Limitless. Some great battling there between those two guys.
I was going to say Evo's going to be in big trouble if he doesn't let Limitless through, because he cut that corner very hard at the end of the straight. Oh, he's been in contact with Limitless. He's pushed him wide, and there's Martin. Martin's going to have an opportunity to overtake the pair of them here, as Martin and Evo are going side by side down the pit straight. Can Martin take the lead of it? Well, the net lead of this race going into turn 1. Is he going to try out the inside of Limitless? It looks like he might. No. Limitless retains what is second place for now. Martin up into P. Oh, sorry. Actually, no. Actually, Brochek's gone into the pit, so this is for the lead at the moment. So Martin up into P2, Evo P3, and well, we've had a massive switch at the moment as Evo just making that mistake in the first sector. Just that one tiny mistake enabled both of them to get right behind them. And I was going to say, if Evo wasn't going to give Limitless that position anyway, he would have been in big trouble, as he did cut that corner very much so at the end of that long straight to be able to be side by side with Limitless. So I'm glad that there's not going to be that issue of Limitless saying that Evo gained an advantage.
Yeah, we've seen a few corner cuts there, just when there's been pressure from another car, obviously, trying to leave enough room and everything for the car around, and it has to be said that the spectator mode isn't completely accurate with track limits.
Here we go, there's Fizzy. Martin, back down to this left-hander again. Is he going to try out the inside? No, he's decided against it. Very close racing between the two championship rivals, with Evo right behind as well. And it's great to see a three-way battle for the lead, not just two. And sometimes we don't even get that at all. So this is a great race to be watching right now. And I hope you guys are enjoying it who are watching, as Martin very, very close behind Limitless right now. But he'd just be thinking that obviously this is kind of midway through his this prime stint. And, well, fuel conservation will be kind of playing in his mind, as it has done in previous races. Silverstone being a great example of where Martin used the fact that he was in lean for quite a lot of the race to be able to use his rich fuel mixture at the right times. So again, Martin will probably be thinking about that, but at the same time, with Evo in the mix as well, he can't, focus on Limitless completely, because it might end up that Evo beats the pair of them. So they're going to have to be very careful, because I think that would remind me a little bit of the Webber-Alonso when Vettel actually won the championship, when Webber and Alonso were trying to cover each other off, and then Vettel ended up winning the championship. So Martin can't be thinking too much about Limitless, and Limitless not too much about Martin, because Evo could come out and win that race, and that would be great for Martin. Martin would love for Evo to win this race if he isn't to win it, because that would mean the points difference would be less affected than if Limitless was to win.
Exactly, that is exactly what happened last time, of course, at Abu Dhabi. It was Limitless and Evo fighting for the win last time, where after Martin had his incident at the start of the race, obviously he got back to third, and he was happy that Evo managed to beat Limitless for the win to limit the points loss. from himself to Limitless. But let's see now. Evo's dropped slightly off. Martin maybe with a chance, but once again it's going to be just a bit too far back, even though he has the DRS advantage down the straight. And right now it seems to be Limitless and Martin back to normality, I guess, from the start of the season anyway, of these two guys running out in front together. Even though actually Evo is the form driver going into this race, he has had 2 wins and a 3rd place in the last 3, which is more points than any other 2 guys ahead of him have had in the last 3. Martin obviously coming off the back of 2 really poor races is looking better for him today. Martin 3rd last time after and 7th before that in India. So I'm happy that at least we've got now a battle back on the track between the 2 championship contenders, because there's been a few races since we've seen a proper one between those 2.
Without a doubt, especially as it's coming towards the end of the season now. I think both of them are going to be very nervous actually of them both battling, and then sidebot glitches can ruin a championship, and they don't want to be having any kind of those kind of instances, and I don't think we want to either really, because obviously we don't want something that's kind of out of their control to affect their races. Martin gets a little bit out of shape through the S's, giving Limitless a bit of a buffer going into these next few corners before the DRS zone. But Martin will definitely be within DRS range, as you can see. That is well below a second. And NLR Evo still hanging on at the moment, still within DRS range. Maybe just sitting back, saving some fuel, because one undercut, one lap, pitting 1 lap before the guys in front, he will have the opportunity to do that, because he can see both of those guys carry on for another lap, and he can just dive into the pits and then take track position, which is something that we've seen quite a few times from Broshek. Speaking of Broshek, whereabouts is he? He is down in 8th place. So Broshek, I'm not sure if he's had an incident or not, but I would assume so if he's down in 8th, because he's not exactly 1 pit stop less than everybody else, and actually he's fighting someone very hard indeed, going down the straight against a Red Bull. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe Ria Haryanto, is it? Yes, it is indeed. So Broshek up into P7 now, with Ria Haryanto having a look up the inside. Broshek, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's taken the blooming bollard out with how much he cut the corner there. So Broshek needs to be a little bit careful with that one. But seems like he's definitely out of the running with where he is in the track position, Fizzy.
Yeah, especially when it comes to potentially challenging the top 3, unless the front guys have an incident, of course. But with his strategy,
out of the running, it's a bit harsh for me to say, because these guys could pit and then it starts raining, and Broshek will still be out there, and he probably will still be in the lead. So the weather could still play a factor in this race yet, and I don't think it's just between these 3, especially if the heavens open. So let's hope, just for our sakes. I'd love to see a bit of rain, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's been a while since we had some rain in the race. I can't even remember the last time, to be honest. I know we had some back all the way back at the Spanish Grand Prix. Instead, I can't even remember a single race where we had it. It might have been one that I just can't think about right now, but
Can't be one that I've commentated on, at least.
Yeah. So that would be very interesting, and interesting to see how these guys would cope with it as well. But right now, Limitless is just hanging on out in front with the lead of the race, and Martin seems maybe slightly closer than he's been in the previous few laps. He's going to have the DRS.
Yeah. Don't think he's going to have an opportunity though, because it doesn't seem like there's too much of a straight line difference between somebody who deploys all their KERS and then somebody who has that extra DRS advantage, as drivers seem to be struggling to stay within the track limits of that left-hander. I hope it's just a spectator cam, but either way, to an
extent anyway.
maybe Martin is just saving his fuel at the moment, just trying to, oh my days, Limitless, where are you going, fella? He's taken out that bollard as well. So I'm not sure if Limitless is feeling the pressure or the tyre wear. Actually, the tyre wear is probably starting to kick in, as it's probably about lap 8 of this stint. So these guys will probably start to think about pit stops in the next couple of laps, and it'll be interesting to see if they all dive in at the same lap like they did last time.
Yeah, well, so was it lap 5 they went in last time, if I remember correctly?
I believe it was, Fizzy, yeah.
So yeah, so they've done 8 laps now on these prime tires, and if it's going to be a 2-stop, they're going to have to go quite a bit longer actually. They're going to have to go at least 3 or so laps longer on this, I think.
Yeah, that's fair to say, yeah.
Which they might do, to be honest. I think they might do that.
No, they definitely will. I remember racing around here in one of the leagues, obviously in F1 league, where I think I tried a 3-stop, not because I came into this race not knowing what the
yeah, I remember
was.
that one.
And I think I pitted at the end of lap 8 or something, or from prime. I think I started on primes, I'm not sure, but I remember pitting at lap 8 thinking, well, my tyres are absolutely screwed. And then I saw everyone just carrying on, and I was like, right. And yeah, it turns out the 3-stop is definitely not the way to go. So if anybody decides to go for that, and or any of the drivers are listening right now to my commentary whilst racing, which I highly do not recommend, then don't do a 3-stop because it's definitely slower. Although you do have the fresher tyres, that you lose too much time in the pits because it's quite a long pit stop, and you know it's the fact that it's just kind of too much time lost, and the fact that you'd have to be literally nailing every single lap qualifying style to get that time back. Whereas, you know, with the tyres and just going an extra 2 or 3 laps, it doesn't cost you that much time.
Yeah, especially as well that you might, you know, if any of these guys go into the pits now, they're going to be in traffic as well, potentially. So, you know, it's not really worth it. If all these guys are just running a 2-stop, then there's no point for any of them to divert from that and try anything different, really. They're going to have to fight it out with their racecraft and, you know, skill on the track more than strategy, which is good. That's what we like to see, really. Proper battles on the track. And still, though, ooh, no, Limitless lag is back again. It looked like he ran wide there, but it didn't. He hasn't lost any time. But yeah, really, Martin finding it very difficult now to get onto the back of Limitless unless he's just actually not too bothered and just chilling a little bit.
I don't think he's too bothered if Silverstone and a few other racers are anything to go by, because Martin, he knows that track position isn't exactly crucial right now, where he can just sit in the DRS of the car ahead of Limitless and save as much fuel as possible. Limitless maybe, hopefully for his sake, saving fuel as well. So I'm sure he isn't that silly to be running in rich trying to stay ahead of Martin. But you know, no one really has that pace advantage to want to go overtake and kind of try and pull a gap, because there isn't enough time after this massive DRS zone. There's only a sector, and then there's another DRS, so there's not really that much time for a driver to be able to pull out a second gap. And I think as really struggling with that corner, I don't know if that's the same for you, Fizzy, but
likely,
drivers, you know, being a bit naughty through that corner, and Limitless getting a little bit out of shape, and I think Martin too as well. And I think for Evo's sake, he really needs to get involved in this kind of 3-way battle, and he can't sit in third for too long, because as we've seen, obviously Martin has DRS as well, and he'll be maxing out on the straight following Limitless. So Evo really can't make too much of an impact in third place following, but if he's saving fuel as well, maybe he'll become a factor towards the end of the race. But really, it's going to be interesting to see with Evo, the only one of these three with absolutely nothing to lose. Will he try something that will win him this race?
Well, you never know. He's done enough to win 2 of the last 3 races, of course, with some good racecraft and consistency when it matters. So, you know, you never know. He might pull something out of the bag towards the end. For now, I think he'll be happy if he can just keep with him until the pit stop, and then potentially try and find a way through on the final stint. But yeah, as you said, it's a bit of an awkward position to be third in the group like this, because yeah, the car ahead will have the DRS advantage. You're not gonna have any advantage on the straight whatsoever on the car you're trying to overtake. I know that situation very well from experience. I think it was F1 2012 when I was actually following you and Limitless around Hockenheim for a full race distance, pretty much. And
what happened in that race? I can't remember.
I feel like you won it, maybe.
Oh my days, that race! Yeah, no, because I overtook Limitless round the outside of the hairpin.
I think it was that one. Yeah,
an absolutely unbelievable overtake. Just so you guys know, I think I have it on my channel somewhere back in like 3 years ago now. But that was an overtake I was very proud of, I think. So yeah, no, let's relive that one, Fizzy. I
don't mind that. That was one of my better races, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah, you're on the podium, so...
I finished 4th, and I only got overtaken by Noble on the final lap, I think.
Did Noble have issue? Noble must have been taken out.
Probably at some point,
yeah. Probably. If he's not in first, then you know he's probably had issues, so... anyway, back to this race. It's coming towards the end of lap 16, and it's still status quo with the top 3. However, did I just see a raindrop, or am I just... Limitless diving into the pits. Ooh, Martin doing exactly the same as his championship rival, and NLR Evo following the 2 in as well. And are we going to see a change of the lead? I'm assuming we will do, with Broshek taking the lead. And actually, we've have a few more cars carrying on as well. And Fizzy, I'm starting to do a rain dance here, because I think this will be a perfect time for it to start raining.
It would, just as these guys have fitted.
Martin's been held, and NLR
there we go, yeah.
Net P2.
So Martin's drop as a position to Evo. That's going to be good for Limitless, of course. Potentially crucial for the championship. Obviously, Martin's got now 11 laps to go to find a way back past. Is it 11 or is it 12? It's 12.
Just want to butt in here, Fizzy, just very quickly. Limitless, this is a crucial first sector to hit for him. Look at the gap he's got to NLR Evo. It's probably around about 8/10, and he really needs to push an extra 2/10 out to get NLR Evo out of his DRS. And if he can, Limitless may well, as he's lagging into the sky for me at the moment, so I'm not sure what the gap is. But if Limitless can get out of that DRS range,
I think
it's
he's done
very
it.
interesting to see. Then I'd be surprised if Limitless has any curves left going onto this straight. Let's have a look.
Another bullet
oh,
up there.
actually, that's different, because if that was me, I would have used all my curves pretty much in that first sector, trying to get away from Evo. Does Evo? No, Evo doesn't get DRS, so this is crucial, Fizzy. Can Evo close the gap, or is Limitless about to pull away and take this victory away from Martin? And this is crucial for Martin as well now. He needs to get past this Williams as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, this is crunch time for TRL Martin, who was held in the pit, as you said, and bad luck for him. Yeah, he's got it all to do now. Has to find a way through NLR Evo just so that he can charge after Limitless. Based on the race so far, I'd say that the two, Martin and Limitless, have very equal pace. And we've also seen that Evo is not an easy man to pass. He's being consistent in his race. The only reason he got passed earlier on was because a slight mistake he did in the first sector. So, Martin will know that it's possible. And he has the DRS advantage as well. So let's see. Lap 18. A few more cars in the pits. And I will assume the guy now still leading is also Brošek on the alternate strategy. He'll be going on the softer tires for his final stint. We just see where he can end up in the end. But yeah, Limitless looking very strong right now. And I think, he was slightly wide. Good for Martin. He's going to need to get as close as possible onto the back straight here, just so that he can get the best possible opportunity to make the move done quickly, Matt.
Yeah, this could be absolutely crunch time for Martin now. He has to get past right now, because Limitless is starting to pull away and show exactly why he is one of these championship contenders for this season 10. And right now, Martin will about to be open. That's definitely not the word. About to open his DRS, and here we go. So Limitless is pulling away from Evo at the moment. And Martin now, is he going to try up the inside? He has to. Surely he's not going to try just give up the position. Oh, Evo turning in slightly, but Martin just didn't have the straight line speed there. I'm not sure what happened, whether he just broke a little bit too early there, but it seemed like he was close enough to try something up the inside, but instead decides against it. And I think that's a very, very difficult decision to make. Maybe Martin's thinking, maybe it's okay if I just finish in second, Limitless and pulling away, but I really hope not, because if he's to finish second to Limitless in every single race from here on in, he's not going to win the championship. He has to win this race to just not only be able to kind of extend his lead a little bit, but to send a message to Limitless, who right now is closing in on his championship like no tomorrow.
And he's lost it on the curve there as well on the final corner. He got himself very, very close there through the final sector, but then he lost it on the curb, and that might just be another opportunity in the DRS zone gone. For TL Martin's going to have to wait even further. As you can see, Limitless actually coming up to Brošek. I don't know, this might actually be good for Martin. Because Brošek, obviously the man on the alternate strategy, hasn't pitted yet. He's only a couple of seconds ahead of Limitless on way worse tires. Maybe that'll be bad for him, or Limitless might.
Actually, no, Limitless will get DRS, I think.
Position, exactly, yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Limitless will want to get past Brošek there on the straight to minimize the potential time loss of being behind him.
Oh, he's going to nail him at exactly the right point here, Fizzy. Yeah. Limitless has caught him at a perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not raining, so Brošek, who was probably praying for rain, Brošek going a little bit defensive, saying like, you know what, I'm not going to, just get out of the way and fly out of the way. I am the ex-AOR, actually the reigning AOR F1 champion. He's not going to win the championship this season. And Brošek has
side by side behind.
Give up the position. And yes, side by side, as you say, but Evo managing to stay ahead of Martin for now. And they're going to go, Martin's going to potentially look around the outside. But I don't know if there's going to be enough space there. Is Martin going to try? He might be able to get up the inside here for this double left-hander. Martin is going to be up into P3. Can Evo get the cutback? I don't think he'll be able to. And Martin, crucially, up into P3. Can he catch Brošek by the time they get to the next DRS range and pass him into turn one? Or maybe Brošek, actually, no, he can't be going to the pits yet because he's going to be going on options. So Brošek struggling on his primes already. And Martin, can he overtake Brošek going into turn one? I think he might do, as Brošek's made a mistake through that last corner. And Martin easily has DRS, and that'll be P2 for Martin as Brošek just gets straight out the way.
That almost looked like he was going to hit into the pit wall there. But it's got on the way, other way. Both of these guys, he knows that he's not really fighting them. I mean, sure, he might want to show himself for the cameras a little bit, if he didn't really have anything to fight for. But I think Brošek still has a good chance for P4 in this race. You know, obviously, when he's pitting now, I think he'll drop down to 6th potentially, at least. Maybe even lower if he's unlucky. But yeah, then he'll have the better tires towards the end to catch up again. He knows that the guys at the back there is the guys actually fighting. So Limitless once again is flying up into the air a little bit, but he's still got a good 2-second gap.
Right now is that Martin only has half a bar of his KERS, as he's used half in the first sector potentially to maybe line up a move on Broshek, who just got straight out of the way. And Martin going very defensive now. I've just come flying down the straight, and you can see the distance that Evo is closing up to Martin, but it's not going to be enough this time round as Martin maintains P2. And right now that gap is looking pretty ominous, you have to say, Fizzy.
Yes, yeah, I think actually Evo was closing so damn fast down the straight there, but yeah, I think he just revved out on the end because towards the braking zone he just stopped gaining at all. So yeah, Martin has gotten away with that one, still in P2, but yeah, I don't think the gap is close at all this lap, to be honest. It looked like around 2 to 3 seconds at the start of the lap, and I think it's pretty much the same now. Yeah,
I'll have a look at the lap times of this next lap to see if Limitless was able to pull away, and I think he will have been able to, so I'll have a look now.
And I think for Martin as well, he hasn't been able to shake Evo properly either, so he's going to still have to focus. You know, Martin maybe, whereas Limitless can drive 100% focus on just the racetrack right now, Martin maybe 90% focus on the track and has to keep those final 10% just to see where Evo is behind him. In case he get close enough to have a go again.
So Martin lost 0.3 of a second to Limitless on that last lap. So Limitless pulling away at this moment with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, and Broshek is now pitted for his final stop. Everyone's now down there 2 pit stops in the race. K-Block is back up to P4 in the race. Was that Foxside in P5? And then we had Unleashed in P6. So I'm guessing that's Broshek then who's come out in P7. It is indeed. It's got quite a gap though, up to Unleashed and Foxside, and K-Block's actually got a decent gap to those two as well on the other side. So K-Block's looking on course for a very, very solid result for him. Actually seen on the minimap once again that Martin and Evo are getting close. I'm just going to check to see.
Yeah, not close enough though, Fizzy. Yep. Martin had enough of a gap after that first sector to be pretty comfortable going into the braking zone after that long straight. Limitless still looking pretty comfortable out in front at the moment. I don't know if Martin's going to have anything to answer for. Although, if there was any time of Martin saving the fuel and being able to put it up into Rich, it'll be now. So it'll be interesting to see as both of these guys... Well, Martin hasn't really been...
Oh, there's a battle at the back.
I didn't know if that was or a pigeon. I couldn't quite tell, but...
Well, you know. Yeah, that was Harianto having a go into the hairpin on the Toro Rosso of Libot. Would that be? So I haven't really mentioned Libot at all this race. He's really struggling actually compared to his usual standards from recent races. He's had a couple of podiums, I believe, and a lot of 4th places this season. But now he's down in 8th and battling with Harianto and Lest F1 as well. Is not far behind. These are the last 3 on the track, of course, because we have 10 drivers on the grid. So there we go. Harianto again might have a chance into turn 1. Not close enough.
That's one way to commentate. Nope. No, didn't get through. Nope. So Martin gained a 10th on Limitless that last lap. So not exactly the amount that he wants to be catching Limitless with only these amount of laps to go. So right now Limitless, unless he makes a mistake, really looks like he's going to be on course for getting 25 points. I think the key thing for Martin is that he comes home in 2nd and not 3rd, because if he finishes in 3rd, that's only 3 points going into the penultimate race of the season. And that's going to be very interesting because Spa, that's going to be a great race as well to go for the penultimate race of the season. Don't you think, Fizzy?
Yeah, last time we were at Spa earlier in the season, of course. It was really, really action-packed. I think you missed that one, Matt. So we had Niren in the commentary box for that one. So I'm sure you'll be happy to commentate on the Spa race, which usually in this league is really, really
I was gutted to miss Spa. Spa always promotes good racing, doesn't it? With obviously the chance of rain that's there, and also the fact that it's just a great racetrack. And it seems like a lot of the drivers are quite competitive. I think most drivers enjoy that track as well, so I think that's why it just promotes great racing on the game and also in real life as well. So Limitless on that last lap set a 37.8 with Martin setting a 37.5. So closing in is Martin, and that's going to be probably playing on Limitless's mind, although he's probably thinking that's enough of a gap to be comfortable. If any mistakes start to creep in, then Limitless could be coming under pressure, but right now that gap is more than comfortable for a man that's won plenty of races in this league.
Yeah, And while you've been going on about that, actually it's starting to rain now, I'm saying as well. I've been watching the battle for 8th still. It's been some great racing throughout this lap actually. It's been Leobot who's managed to get back into 8th after Haryanto was looking strong, and F1 has gotten past Haryanto now as well. He's running 9th. But yeah, the rain is now starting to come down.
Please, the heavens open and make it wet on the penultimate and last lap. That's what I'm praying for, at least the last lap. That would be awesome. But, well, I don't know if it's going to rain hard enough, though, Fizzy. I don't know. This rain takes a long time.
Yeah, we saw in qualifying how long it took. It was quite a few laps. I mean, it started pretty much at the start of the session. It wasn't until like 5 minutes from the end almost people started noticing it, or at least it looked like that was when they started noticing it. So I think it might have just come tiny bit too late, but it's a pretty
it's coming
relatively
down quite hard
long lap here. Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite a long lap as well. That's a very good point. So, but it looks like it's raining reasonably hard. So let's hope it just gets a little bit wet so we can see the driver start sliding around, and maybe that'll start putting a few thoughts into Limitless's mind about how early he brakes. Martin, on the other hand, is going to be pushing very hard. Actually, if you have a look behind him, you can see Evo very close to him this time, but he's not going to have a chance into turn 1. I'm not crofty. I'm not going to say they're side by side, but it might give him an opportunity, NLR Evo, to have a go on the straight. It's going to be interesting. I think Martin's quite quick through this first sector, which has allowed him to just bridge just that tiny bit of gap to be comfortable going onto the straight. But if Evo can nail it, and if Martin makes a tiny bit of a mistake, then the Williams driver definitely is going to have an opportunity going down into that hard braking left-hander.
Yeah, it's been a nice, clean first sector for Martin once again. Looking strong through there, as you said. Really not put himself under any pressure more than he needed to anyway, as Limitless still flying all over the place out in front, so it's a little bit difficult to see exactly where he is on the track. He's just jumping up in the air, but yeah, it's still about 3 seconds worth of a gap there, so he's not really close too much. And actually, it looked like Martin was going slightly defensive there, but it's no need to, because Lee was well behind him. Martin's still very much seeing Limitless there, and you know,
the
with the rain
coming down, Fizzy.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not going to lie, I'm getting slightly excited.
This could be very interesting. You know, you never know how the pace is of these guys in the rain compared to the dry, and whether or not any of them have done any wet practice whatsoever.
And if it gets too, oh my gosh, if this had only like, oh my god, why could this not start raining like 2 laps before this? Because that would really have thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. Because that, you know, the thoughts of kind of obviously these two, Limitless and Martin, like, oh, do we pit? Do we go for inters? Is it going to be quicker on the last lap on inters? You know, that's going to be really interesting to see. And obviously Martin's lap time's not really falling off too much, but with the tyre wear as well, it's going to be interesting to see how the tyres react with the track getting wetter. But and it's going to make it harder as well to brake, as Martin missing the apex by a country mile in turn 1, and Evo is smelling an opportunity here for P2 at least. And I have a feeling, Fizzy, it's going to be pretty slippery on this last lap.
Yeah, this is it could well be. It's only 4 laps to go in the race, and Brochek does actually pass both Foxside and Unleashed, so he's up to P5. He missed that action on the previous lap. Brochek making quick work with those guys after catching them up on the fresher tyres. I guess it's kind of not worked out at all for Brochek with his strategy. He would have wanted the rain to come down, you know, before he made his final pit stop. But yeah, still a way to go to catch his teammate K-Block, who's really looking good. But yeah, as you said, rain will now be very, very interesting, because we know with this game, when the tires decide that they're gonna go off and just not be suitable for the weather conditions anymore, they just drop off, and that's nearly undrivable.
Got
right
really
away.
out of shape. Sorry, Fizzy, at the breaking point of after the really long straight, and Evo is now all over the back of Martin. Martin definitely struggling in these conditions. I'm not sure if it's just the tyre wear at the moment, but they are pretty big rain droplets, and we have still got another 3 laps after this one to go. And, well, there's going to be some thoughts about whether or not there's going to be a pit stop at the end of this race that you come towards the end. Oh, Martin again, missing the apex by an absolute... He's going in the pits! Martin's in the pits! He's going on to inters! What an absolute move from the championship leader. Is this going to pay off, or is it going to be catastrophic, Fizzy?
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. We won't really know the answer until he's getting back out on track, and then we can see whether or not he slides about. But he's going to be in traffic as well, because there's other people behind who's not going to pit. K-Block's gone past him.
Will he get out ahead of P5? This is going to be... I don't think
no.
Martin's going to lose, go down to P5 as well here. And will he be able to slow down for turn 1? Let's see.
Ooh, it's only better than Brochek, to be fair. Brochek on the slick tire, so let's see, this will be a perfect chance to see. Martin's got a better tire grip than Brochek, who's on the best possible slick tire there, unless he's just let him pass. But I don't know why would that, you know, if he doesn't feel any problems with the grip. Martin, no problems at all through the first sector here, Matt.
Oh my gosh, what a great ending to this race. Can he catch the guys ahead by the end of this race? It is definitely going to be Inter's conditions on these next 2 laps. Does Limitless pit? Does Evo pit? And does whoever's in front of him, is it K-Block pit? This is going to be interesting. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy it started raining. And I told you the rain was coming down like an absolute flipping monsoon. And look at, it's getting really wet. And I think it might be even wet tyres by the end of this race, Fizzy. And let's have a look at Limitless and see how much he is struggling out in front. Let's have a look and see.
Doing right so far, from what I've seen. Not really been sliding too much, but...
Let's have a look at, what's his lap time looking like? No, he's coming in the pits. He's lost more time than he would have thought. No, he's dead. Martin's going to take the lead, Fizzy.
Oh my god, this is absolutely huge. Evo comes in as well, so definitely a good move from Martin there.
This could be the greatest decision in AOR history to win a championship. Tyrrell Martin, I think, is about to take the lead of this race. K-Block comes into the bits as well. Martin, where is our... yes, here we go. Coming down the straight now. Can he overtake Limitless going into turn? No, Limitless is going to be in the lead. Limitless, but it's going to be so close. Limitless is going to have to get his tyres up to temperature. Martin's still in P2 at the moment, but the gap has come down. And, well, Fizzy, I got a little bit overexcited thinking Martin was going to be overtaking Limitless by turn 1, but the gap's come down. Can Martin catch him?
Oh, I don't know, it's Limitless then must have done a really good job to just nurse those slick tires into the pit lane on the previous lap. He's dropped a little bit of time, but not enough for Martin to get ahead, and there's only a lap and a half to go here. Martin's really got a gap on Evo as a result of that decision, so you can see it was a good decision. It just was not good enough to jump Limitless a bit. Oh, Limitless is still lagging for me, I don't know about you, Matt, but I don't know. Will Martin...
When I'm on board with Martin anyway. But,
too far ahead for Martin to have DRS at least.
Oh gosh, that would have been unbelievable.
No DRS actually anymore as well.
No DRS at all, because although Martin definitely has the experience of having that extra lap in these conditions, can he catch Limitless by the end of this next lap? I don't think he's going to be able to. I think I got just that little bit too overexcited. But when I saw Limitless's lap time, I'd seen him been struggling on the dries, but obviously the Inter's times as well do go down. Well, obviously extend as well with the fact that it's getting wet and he's on slower tyres. So Limitless has got the gap. I think Martin's made a bit of a mistake, actually, if anything.
Sliding a little bit.
Well, I saw that, oh gosh, Martin misses the apex as well there, and he is definitely struggling in these conditions. But Evo is definitely not going to be able to challenge Martin by the end of this lap. Will Limitless make a mistake as we go on to the final lap? It's been a great race here for this United States Grand Prix. I think, Fizzy, you'll agree too there. But we've got 1 lap to go. Is there any more excitement that we can look forward to?
Well, it's going to be all down to Martin now to see if he can close the gap. He's definitely, as I said, the gap is closed as a result of his decision, but Limitless still, luckily for him, has got the gap that he needs to be comfortable on this final lap. Unless, of course, we never know in these conditions. It's easier, of course, than in the dries to make a mistake, and if Limitless does make a little mistake on any of these corners, Martin's going to be right there to potentially take advantage, but Martin is the one making the mistake.
God!
That was a great save.
I was so hoping you were on board with him as I saw that happening. He is pushing like no tomorrow. And you can see him weaving around like, Jesus, I'm so glad that I just saved that. And I don't think he's going to be able to catch Limitless by the end of this race. But I think Martin is more happy the fact that he's still got 4 wheels on his car. As we're about to start the final sector in just 1 corner's time. And, well, it's been a great race, as I've said. And Limitless is going to be feeling very confident going into these last 2 races. The gap is going to be down to just 6 points, Fizzy. What an ending to this season we are having right now. And, well, Spa, I mean, that's going to be a very good race to look forward to. And with only 6 points separating these two, the rivalry is going to be so intense.
Yeah, I can't remember a championship battle, certainly not for a long while, that's going into the penultimate race of the season as close as it is between Martin and Limitless now. No, it might not have been ever, to be honest. 6 points if it stays like this, and here we go, Limitless wins.
And he's going to win the United States Grand Prix. A great race from Limitless. Martin going to come home in P2. And a great race again for NLR Evo, finishing on the podium once again. And K-Block, a great race for him. His best result of the season, if I'm not mistaken, in P4.
Indeed.
He's going to come home with 12 points comfortably as well. And he is very happy with that one, coming over the line to take P4. I'm not sure who was in P5. I'm assuming... Oh, no, it's TSR Unleashed who finishes in P5, but he's got a 10-second penalty. Broshek down in P10. So, not sure for him. He's got a 10-second penalty as well. So, Foxside is going to be promoted to 5th place with Unleashed getting that penalty. And Lest F1 is about to finish his race anytime soon.
Oh, bro, there's still a battle going on actually for 9th. Broshek in last position out of these 10 drivers is still fighting with the Ria Haryanto to avoid the wooden spoon, as you say. And Ria Haryanto is actually run wide. Yep.
Here we go, Broshek round the outside, and it is Haryanto. Look, oh my gosh.
Oh, he's sliding all over the place.
Struggling like no tomorrow. It must be wet. Oh, he's lost the car as well. It must be wet weather, wet tyre conditions. Although Broshek seems to be doing pretty well on those tyres. Maybe Haryanto went a little bit too early on those inters. Yeah, you can see. I think he may have pitted a bit too early when oh my gosh, he's not going to make that apex. And well, Broshek in P9. Not sure what happened to him. He must have had an incident somewhere along the line. And Haryanto. So everyone who finished got a point, and Broshek had a 10-second penalty anyway. So Haryanto gets promoted to P9.
Interesting, and Unleashed had a 10-second penalty, so he drops from 5th to 6th, but it is the important one. Limitless beating Martin for the win here to take the championship gap down to 6 points from 13. Evo on the podium as well. K-Block with his best ever result in this league in 4th position. And then Foxside Unleashed. Lest F1, Leobot disappointing for him in 8th position, and then Ria Haryanto just about. He said, beat Broshek because of that penalty. Remains to be seen if that gets removed or not, but yeah. Limitless the man celebrating the most after that one.
Yeah, I was just reading some of the comments. Everyone's like, what? Oh yeah, when everyone was convinced that Martin was going to be winning when he pit that lap earlier. And well, it was a bit of an anticlimax, I have to say. I apologise for that one. But I thought that he was going to be able to be at least a little bit closer than that. When he was coming out the pits. So I was a little bit disappointed to see Limitless come out the pits, because I think that would have been a very interesting battle for the last 2 laps of that race. But either way, Limitless comes away with the victory and the 25 points, and again has that psychological advantage going into the penultimate race of the season, that if he beats Martin once again, he will be going, no matter where Martin finishes, into the final race of the season, leading the championship, which I think will be the first time.
I believe so, yeah, because Martin, actually, we remember back towards the start of the season, before you even started commentating with me, Martin won the first 4 races of the season, so he had a pretty big lead.
Led the championship
Nope.
the entire season. It'd be a great story for Limitless to win the championship on the last race, which I think some F1 drivers in real life have done, by not actually leading the championship the entire season until the last race. But well, Limitless, I'm sure, will want to be going into the last race leading the championship. But Martin will probably have something to say about it, and I think a lot of the other drivers will have something to say about it as well, as it's Spa and it's a very closely contested track.
Yeah, it is indeed. You know from previous races that both Limitless and Martin can have good races around there, and yeah, would be a great story for Limitless to finally get his championship win in this league after coming from quite a distance behind Martin in the championship. Make that work, and you know, both have had their share of bad luck this season. Limitless had his disconnection at Hungary when he didn't even get to start a race. Martin's had a couple of incidents recently that have cost him points as well. And now they come really close together, and we'll have to wait and see next week whether Limitless can finally take the lead of the championship.
I am looking forward to it. I know most of you guys will be too. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in to this AOR F1 2013 United States Grand Prix live stream. We'll be back next Sunday for exactly the same kind of racing, I'm hoping, maybe even more exciting than the one we had tonight. So guys, make sure you follow both myself at xMattyG and FizzyFan on Twitter to be notified about anything that goes on in AOR. And apart from that, we just want to say thank you very much. And Fizzy, anything from you?
No, I just hope everyone who watched this enjoyed it, and that you will be back for the next one. 2 races to go with the season, and it's going to be a cracking championship battle to the end.
Sweet. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.